Who does your hair? No one? Me? Aren't you tired of it? All the stares you get.
That girl is
You want to be one of my girls?
Yes.
This came all the way from India?
Forget about where it's from. Let's focus on where it's going. You're not tender-headed, are you?
I'll be fine.
Clients swear this stuff is magic.
Wow. How's it feel? People look at you and they see somebody else, and somehow you become more of yourself.
I can't fault you for doing whatever it takes to get where they keep trying to keep us from getting. In a perfect world, a woman would be able to wear her hair the way she wants to.
Wearing wigs 24/7 and never ever showing your natural hair in your real life is self-hate. Like, it is self-hate because you know what your coily natural hair looks like, but you choose not to walk around with that image of yourself. You prefer to project the image of walking around with a straight wig, which doesn't represent you, because coily, curly hair is on the complete opposite side of the spectrum to straight hair. It's literally not your image. Majority of black women have coily, curly hair globally. So if you're not walking around confidently and proud of your own image, it means that you're rejecting that part of you, and it's self-hate. If you're not working to show more love to the natural greatness that grows out of your hair, the beauty that grows out of your hair, if you're not going to show it love and you're going to wear an image that does not represent you, it's self-hate. I can't even be saying, oh yeah, but it's just a protective style, or oh, but I need to assimilate because at work, Nope, that doesn't work anymore. Because if that was the case, then why don't you wear a tight coiled afro wig? Why not? There's so many styles, there's so many variations. Nope. Because it goes back to self-hate, because that's not the image you want to project of yourself. You think that other image is better. You think that straight hair is better. You're boosting the ego of so many other non-black people. You're boldly stating that you prefer that hair. You're out here on comment section saying those are your bundles. Like, it gets so embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you dislike your hair so much, and disliking your hair is direct correlation of disliking a part of yourself that's natural to you. And it's a shame, because now the next generation of little girls and boys, I guess, are seeing the same cycle of growing up, seeing their hair not appreciated, still getting hated on, and then wearing hair that does not represent their own image. On that video I made saying if you wear straight hair 24/7 that doesn't match your own natural hair texture, it's a form of self-hate. I'm not gonna lie, you guys need to get it together in the comment section. Like, so many of you are saying things like, why can't you leave people to do what they want to do, or you lack empathy, or stop judging us, stop telling us what to do with our hair. For one, I physically can't do anything about what you do with your hair. Like, that isn't my business. Like, I'm not running around cutting people's wigs off. I can't change how you feel about your own hair, and I'm not going to enforce what I think onto other people. That's a decision that you would make within yourself. I'm literally not judging any of you guys, I'm just stating a fact. And I feel like with the whole thing, when it comes to self-love and self-acceptance of self, you shouldn't even care what I have to say. Like, if it doesn't apply, or you've already come to an acceptance of how you feel about your own natural hair, if you're choosing to cover it 365 days within a year so it never sees sunlight, that's on you. Like, that's a decision you make in life with your free will. Like, that has nothing to do with me. But the reason I care about this is because I care about the elevated image of black women. I want better for us. Like, we've already acknowledged the years of oppression and brainwashing and systematic oppression when it comes to our hair, and I would like to do something that changes that. So what I'm saying isn't a nothing statement, because I don't plan to just say the same shit every time. Like, it's just a statement. I plan to have a space. I want to make a community one day soon where women can come together, especially those who have acknowledged the baseline fault, which is they are rejecting their own image. They accept that they have been made to feel a negative way about their own hair, and that self-awareness, then self-acceptance, work towards doing better to embrace their hair more, and then self-love is the top form when no words outside of yourself can affect you, because you've come to self-acceptance with self and you grow to love your image more. That's it. And it's kind of like, another reason I care is that it's the same people that are out here birthing kids back to back, and you're not instilling in your kids self-love. They're growing up seeing the exact same thing that we saw, and it leads to the same issues, which means you're having the same cycle repeat again and again and again. And people are going to be like, I'm sick of this conversation, like, you're tired of it. Yeah, because nothing's being done. Like, you're not dealing with the issue. It's like somebody who's an alcoholic. They need to accept that they're an alcoholic first to make any changes. You need to accept the issue at its base and then change it. And that's what I want to do. That's why I want to make a community. So what I'm saying holds weight, because I do want to make a change. I want the next generation of black boys and girls, especially little girls, to have a change on how they view their hair. Also, for the love of God, can you guys leave these kids alone? Like, whoever has the skill, can you wipe these kids' image off the internet? Like, I'm tired of them being used as an example. We do not present that way, majority of us, and I don't see how that's relevant to a conversation about hiding your hair 24/7. What's that got to do with anything?
I am ready to join the natural hair conversation as a former lace front warrior who has been wearing my natural hair since September. Not a long time to you, but is a long time to me. I want to say something. And that something is, it's very easy and buyable, like believable to other people, that you can love your natural hair, but you never wear it. And you can love your natural hair, but it never sees the light of day. Other people may believe that, but I do not anymore. That is a lie. It's no way that you could tell me that you love me, but you never want to be seen with me. You love me, but you never want to spend any time with me. You love me, but you never take the time to figure out what I like or what I need to feel good or what I need to be healthy, but you love me. That's a lie. That is a lie. And it is a problem. It's very easy to be like, oh, I just wear wigs because it's easier. I just do lace fronts and what's it called? Sew-ins and braids because it's easier. Also a lie. It is immensely more expensive. And also the anxiety that comes with putting on a lace front and walking out of the house and trusting that your lace is not lifting all day, that is real. Do you know how heartbreaking it is to lay your wig down in the morning, think you looking cute, walking around looking good, and then you talk to somebody and realize that they're not looking at you, they're looking at your lace? And then you go in the bathroom and you say, I thought my lace was blended. Why is it 2 shades lighter than me? That is a real anxiety. But you know when you don't have to worry about that? When you look like you, when you're wearing the hair that God gave you. You don't have those type of problems. And the more time that you spend with your hair, the more effort that you put into hair, the more like that you actually put care into your hair, the easier that it is. So stop with the myths. Stop with the lies. You cannot trick me. You cannot trick me. Like, that's not love. And being uncomfortable with the way that you were literally created by God, being uncomfortable with that, you can't even look yourself in the mirror when your hair is out. You feel like you have to apologize when you wear your natural hair. That's an issue. That I don't know another way to say that. And if this was any other culture, any other person, and you just described that scenario of like this person can't look themselves in the mirror in their natural state, anyone with a brain would be like, yeah, that's a problem. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Hey, my angels, it's your girl, Jaleesa Nicole, your natural hair care specialist, and there's something that I want to address. We must address this wig and weave epidemic that we have going on within our community. It's become an addiction. It's become a problem. It's become a problem in the youth as well. I've had 3 or 4 girls, like ranging from the ages of 12, preteen 12 to 17, tell me if I don't have a bust down on, I don't feel pretty. That's a problem. It's time to snip this in the bud. This is a problem. I will be elaborating on this more. But to start the conversation, the wig addiction and the I have to have a wig on, I don't care how my edges look. Y'all don't even care if y'all got no edges. As long as y'all got a wig to lay on it. That's becoming a problem. It has to be talked about. We have to come up with a solution. And the solution isn't more wigs and it's not a relaxer. We have to learn how to take care of ourselves and take care of our natural hair.
Shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to the brothers that's teaching this truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, the 1/3 sincere listeners. All right, Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. And Yahushai being the name of his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This gospel, the kingdom of heaven, and this truth is for the Israelites and the Israelites only. Who are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and the ones scattered abroad that may look like the other nations, where your spirit resonates with this truth? All right. You more than most likely go back to one of the 12 patriarchs through lineage. All right. Today's video is going to be entitled The Black Woman is Ashamed of Her Hair. And I might do a 2-in-1 video because I wanted to talk about, you know, I might have to do that for another video actually. It's okay. So I'll just say, yeah, the black woman is ashamed of her hair, her natural hair. Okay, and it's just simple as plain. I'm gonna have a video. You saw the videos that I played before I did my part, you know what I mean? Breaking down the scriptures. But I pretty much just wanted to prove in the Bible, right? Because we got to prove all things, why the so-called black woman has no hair and is ashamed of her natural hair. Okay? As she sees her counterparts can cut their hair, grow it back fast, whatever. Their hair is long, so to speak, right? And you know, there's a lot of self-hate, you know, and it goes back to all of that, you know, slavery, Jim Crow, the so-called white man being the devil that he is, you know, pushing insecurities upon our people. And you know, this is not to bash the black woman. It just is what it is. It's whether she wants to get right or not, you know what I mean? You know, it's what she needs to understand, that her rebelliousness played a heavy role in the reason why her situation is the way it is right now, right? And there's a form of accountability that has to be taken, right? Just like we as men, we had to take accountability, all right? Especially us here that's doing this work, pushing out this word, this truth. We have to take accountability for our actions. We're in the position that we're in because of our own actions, our transgressions against the Heavenly Father, right? So pretty much the same for you women, all right? Just, you know, the so-called black woman, all right? So it says Judah's woman denounced. Who's Judah? How the kingdom of Judah pertains to the three tribes. So Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Judah being you so-called African American women. Benjamin being you so-called Caribbean women, West Indian women, and Levi being you so-called Haitian women. And those three tribes of women are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, you can find those tribes of women in Africa, west parts of Africa, wherever, South America, North America, right? Europe. They're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, dealing with the same curse no matter where the hell they live. So that's letting you know this is a spiritual thing. This is an indicator. This is like I said, it's an indicator showing who the daughters of Zion are, who the Lord is dealing with, and if in a sense that he's punishing, he's judging. And it's not that the Lord hates them. The Lord just proving a lesson, showing them a lesson, teaching them a lesson, right? In the kingdom, so-called black woman will get back her hair, you know, and she's gonna love her hair, right? And if she wants to straighten it in the kingdom, she can do that. Like, I'm not, you know, if a woman wants to straighten her hair, she can do that. There's nothing wrong with straightening your hair. You see what I'm saying? If you do it the right way, it's not damaging your hair. You see what I'm saying? But you still gotta appreciate your natural hair, like how it comes in the form of how it is. You see what I'm saying? You know? But you woman, you will appreciate your hair in the kingdom anyways, you know? That's not even going to be an issue. Bad hair days is going to be a thing of the past, so to speak, you know? And, you know, this is just for, you know, Let me just read the scriptures anyways. Isaiah 3:16. Judah's woman denounced. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks. Haughty means proud. Okay, a lot of you women are proud. You're proud off of feminism, gassed up off of the so-called white man's wine. Okay, I don't need a man. Niggas ain't shit. Blah 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? You're proud. Walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes. You be with a man. You're walking with your man, but then you're looking in the next man's eyes, doing, you know, that's fuckery. That's not, you know, the Lord sees all that. That's adultery. Basically inviting a next man to come deal with you while you're already with your man. You know? Walking and mincing as they go and making a tinkling with their feet. All right. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion. All right. And that's the scab right there. The fact that you can't grow your hair. But guess what? It's going to go deeper than that as I read. Okay. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head. The crown. Okay. The crown of your head is your hair. Okay. Let me see. I can get that. Let me grab that quick. Glory woman. But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory for her. See? Let's just get it. First Corinthians 11 and 15. All right, says if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given for a covering. Okay, that's the woman's glory. All right, let's see if I can. Woman's glory. Woman's glory. See if I can find man's glory. Man's glory. Because the man's glory is the woman. The glory of a man. KJV. Okay, 1 Corinthians 11 and 7. So it's at the top. 1 Corinthians 11. All right. So this is it. For a man indeed. 1 Corinthians 11 and 7. For a man indeed ought to not cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of Yahweh, but the woman is the glory of the man. For the man is not of the woman, this was the point. But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given for a covering. It says the woman is the glory of a man, and the glory of the woman is her hair. Okay? All right, so let's go back to Isaiah 3. Isaiah 3:24, around that area. All right, back in Isaiah 3, it says, therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord Yahweh will discover their secret parts. In that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their calls and their round tires like the moon. The Most High said he was going to take away your accessory pieces, all your jewelry that you like to, adorn yourself in, and your figure, your shape. All right, a lot of black women, so-called black women, are not in shape, right? And they have that goes into whatever. That's just another thing, but that's also something that the Lord said would befall upon the so-called black woman. All right. It says the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets. Who else on the planet wears bonnets to go to bed? All right, the so-called black woman. All right, this Bible is only dealing with the Israelites. Okay. The bonnets and the ornaments of the legs and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and the nose jewels. All right. Who likes to adorn themselves in these things? So-called black women. The changeable suits of apparel, right? Fashion Nova, right? Cheap outfits, right? That's why women's clothing is cheap, because they need plenty clothes. Women always need clothes, right? And at the same time, that's fine because you're a woman. You need to be clean, so to speak. You need to change out of clothes if you know what I'm saying, and you need to have a lot of clothes. You're a woman, It says the changeable suits of apparel and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, the glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass, right, that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink. Okay, what sweet smell? What the Lord said he would discover their secret part. Their secret part is where? The vagina, right? And that it says, and it'll come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink. Black woman's vagina, it has an odor to it. It stinks, especially if they're not taking care of it. They're not taking, and that's going to be my next video, right? But I'll harp on it right now. That they're not getting the proper their family or their mothers, their aunts, whoever. They're not telling them, oh, you got to do this, you got to clean and keep it like this, and da 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 da. They're letting them go through the same shit they went through, and that's okay. You see what I'm saying? And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle a rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness. Right? So that's going into therefore the Lord will smite with the scab of the crown. Right? The crown is the glory of her hair. Okay, which is the glory is her hair. Right? Which is her crown. Right? But the Lord said instead of well set hair, it will be baldness. You see what I'm saying? And because your hair grows upwards, it doesn't mean you don't have a lot. It doesn't mean that your hair is short. You know what I mean? Just because your hair is coily, it doesn't mean that your hair is short. If you want it to be long, you straighten it. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, nobody's saying you can't straighten your hair. Like, okay, does it take time or whatever? So be it, man. But at the same time, we live in a different world now. We're not gonna use those excuses anymore, man. But like I said, that's between you and the Lord, anyways. That's if you want to, who cares, right? It says instead of well set hair, baldness. Instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. All right, and that burning is going into like not looking too good. You're not looking too good instead of beauty, right? Because our women used to be beautiful. I'm not saying they're not still, but they're not as beautiful as they once were. All right. And you're not gonna lie to me and say every so-called black woman is beautiful, you know. Let's see what the different versions are saying. Yep, see? Isaiah 3:16. This is the AMP version. Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are proud and walk with outstretched necks and seductive, flirtatious and alluring eyes. Right? Who's putting on makeup, umbrellas, right? The what do you call it? The lashes, right? And looking men in their eyes, trying to seduce men. Okay? Seductive and flirtatious, alluring eyes. Okay? And trip along with mincing steps and affected gait and walk with jingling anklets on their feet. That's the so-called black woman. She has anklets on her feet. There's nothing wrong with having anklets on their feet, but I'm just letting you know. We know who you are, man. Like, but you don't know who you are. Like, you see what I'm saying? But this Bible is for you. It's whatever. Whether you get with it or not, it is what it is. So therefore, the Lord will afflict the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion with scabs, making them bald. Right? Going into everything I just said. And the Lord Yahweh will expose their foreheads and send them into captivity. In that day, the Lord will take away the beauty of their anklets, braided caps, crescent head ornaments, dangling earrings, bracelets, and hanging veils and scarves, head wraps, turbans, short, jingling ankle chains, sachets, perfume boxes, right? Because contrary to popular belief, our women knew how to smell good and take care of themselves, all right? This is not something new. Oh, thank you, Mr. White Man. Now, now we have showers. Are you dumb? We've always been a clean people, right? That wanted to smell good, soak in oils and stuff like that. We did that, all right? So a lot of you giving too much credit to the devil, and you shouldn't be. Amulets, charms, signet, finger rings, nose rings, festival robes, outer tunics, shawls, handbags. Handbags, see? Even handbags was a thing back then. Hand mirrors. But yeah, you love your handbags. Fine linen, undergarments, headbands, and veils covering the entire body. Now it will come to pass that instead of sweet fragrance of spices, there will be a stench of rottenness. You know what I mean? So you don't want, but yeah, instead of a belt, a rope. Instead of a well-set hair, baldness. Instead of fine clothes, a robe of sackcloth, and branding of captives by scorching heat instead of beauty. You see what I'm saying? Your men will fall by the sword, and your mighty men in battle. Okay, but yeah, that's pretty much that, man. And that's pretty much that. Just whatever. It's a lot of self-hate. It is what it is, but all that's going to change in the kingdom. Black women's confidence is going to come back. However, a lot of you black women are going to have to die on this side for your rebelliousness. And that's of the Lord. That's not on me. Okay? And it's not because you didn't want to wear your hair. It's not because of that. You see what I'm saying? However, it was because of your rebelliousness. You see what I'm saying? So with that, Lord will, you're edified. And to the next one.